Hi everyone, welcome back to the Flying Monk Talk Show. And today we're down in Somerset. It is Somerset, isn't it? Yeah, in Somerset. And two very special guests. This is Paul Rogers, who is a Shifu or expert in the Chinese fighting arts, and Coltrane, 12 years old.
Yes.
Coltrane, who's been practicing Bagua since age of 5 years old. Is that right?
Yeah.
And really has a really good skill, as you're going to see on a short clip that we're going to put at the end of this film. Paul has very generously shared a lot of his knowledge about his life story, his training, his teachers, and the different arts that he's practiced. And we've made a series of DVDs about his life and teaching. And we're going to just say a quick hi to Coltrane, who's appeared on the film as well. Very, very lovely story of how you started practicing, 5 years old. What was the reason that you started teaching Coltrane?
Just to calm him down, really. Just to keep him, because like I said, he'd get up in the morning, he'd bounce out of bed at 6 o'clock or 5:30, and with 2 or 3 hours before school time. So obviously I wanted to teach him at some point, but that was a good time to start, because I could put him outside, I could show him one move and say, right, just do that for half an hour and let me have a cup of tea,
Yeah.
And then that was basically how it started, just so he would just calm down for a little while, because he was and still is full of beans. So.
Yeah. So you did a few years single movement practice in the Bagua, then you slowly started circling, and recently you've started doing swimming dragon.
It's just a concept. It's not really like I say, it's not really it's not a style or anything. It's just a concept of moving outside, a bit freestyle. So it has a few basic moves you can work from. But then it's just about moving from this shape to that shape to this shape to this shape, and thinking about what you're doing between the moves. It's not like going from A to C. You want to go A and then B, C. So you want to fill in. You want to see what you're doing as you move, as you change. So this is tricky. It's a tricky thing, but.
What's your favourite thing that you've practiced that your dad's taught you so far?
Probably the locks.
The locks?
Yeah. Sometimes my friends like to wrestle each other, and sometimes they grab me, and I can feel the locks on their arms, how to just snap it, and the wrist.
But obviously we don't do it. But
no.
You don't do it, obviously.
No, I don't.
But he's got the. He can see it, he can feel it.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because obviously they can't.
Yeah.
They don't think about it. They don't see it. They don't think about it. And he can see it and he can feel it.
So they're thinking more about obvious sweeps and throws, and you're seeing the more intricate elbow locks and things like that.
Wrist locks and finger locks.
This series of DVDs, it's going to be quite long, because Paul's story is full up with fantastic accounts of his teachers, his teachers' teachers, and so on, going back to such great masters as Wang Shengzai, founder of Yichuan, Zhang Jiazhong, who, if you're interested at all in the Chinese fighting arts, this is going to be a film that's packed with interesting technical detail, but also about how the masters practiced, the type of power they developed, the type of skills and subtlety that is possible to develop, and also Coltrane's story and some of his technical abilities and so on. What would you like to say to younger people, children, teenagers, who may be thinking about starting martial arts? What would you say as a final word of what it can give to you?
It can give you special abilities.
Superpowers.
Like Spider-Man.
Yeah, you can think a different way to a normal child would.
Like what,
You
for
can just
example?
like I said, you can feel when you can snap someone's arm, but you don't do it, and you can just, I don't know how to explain it, but you can see a whole lot of different
Openings.
things. Yes, and just all the locks you can do.
I see.
But there's more, much more.
There's much more.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like what?
I don't know yet.
Still learning.
Yeah.
I think it's also helped his, his mind or brain, if you like. Academically, he's smart. So I think certainly helps. Certainly with the Bagua, you're practicing left side, right side, left side, right side, left side, right side. You're really developing both sides of the body and I guess the brain. I think he does.
Yeah.
Obviously in the beginning he didn't, but I think I said now he's getting older. He can see. Chinese believe martial arts is an art, and any art you become smarter because you're studying any art. By studying the art, you have to look outside because that helps develop your art. If you're a painter, you want to see outside to see what to paint. And by looking outside, it helps your art. So any art's the same. The more you understand the outside, the more you understand the inside, the art. So I think this makes you more intelligent naturally because you're delving into a subject, in this case a martial art. But by going deep into any subject, you can understand more. It's not just about the subject, but outside of the subject. So I think even just unconsciously this is happening. You might not understand why, but it's happening regardless.
And Paul, just a little bit about your present teaching. You've been back in England for a few years now. You spent years and years and years in China. A lot of people watching this would maybe have seen your films. It's quite famous amongst Chinese martial artists how you throw your students into the wall on the back.
Yes.
Yard
We've broken the wall several times.
Yeah, and showing Bagua, Xingyi, a little bit of each one, very tiny bit of each one, but that's your speciality, it seems.
I guess it's what I concentrate on, yeah.
In a nutshell, how do you describe each one? How's it different from other systems?
It's not really. It's not that different, It's a standard martial art, but it doesn't follow the normal rules, if you like. It doesn't really have much structure, if you like. It's like jazz, maybe. Jazz is just notes, the same notes you would find in any music. It's just how you use the notes and how you place the notes, which makes it sound so different, but they're still the same notes.
Yeah.
So, but it's very inside, just like jazz is very outside. Yichuan is very it's up here all the time. Everything's up here, and that's what you're practicing. You're developing your intention all the time. So the more you understand about the inside, the less you really don't need the outside. Becomes less and less relevant. So you're not so concerned about the shapes, the Xing. You're more understanding the Yi more and more. So for me, it's almost 20 years now. So like I was saying about any art, the more you go into it, the more it opens up. The more it opens up, the more it opens up. It's just, they have a saying in Yichuan, I said to you before, Yichuan contains the universe. So it's a pretty big thing. So like I said, the more you understand, the better, the more interesting it becomes.
Quite open to teach people if they see this.
But I teach very traditional martial arts. So what does that mean? What does that mean?
Well, the relationship is important.
So you have to have some affinity for the person you're teaching, and they have to have an affinity with you. Obviously, if you don't get on, then maybe like in a class environment, then you just take the money. It doesn't really, you might not like them. they might not like you. But if they just want to learn some, some skills or whatever, then you mean people teach like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the way I've learned, and I try to just teach the way I've learned. Traditional means, you're inside of a family, if you like. It's a bit like the mafia, once you're inside, it's hard to leave, It's hard to get out. But you have to have an affinity with the student, and the student has to have some affinity with you. You have to get on. Because, I've been with my teacher for 20 years now, If we didn't like each other, then you can't survive that long, So these skills, these things, that you don't learn them in months, even if you're a genius, it's going to take you years. So it means you have to be with somebody for a long, long time. And if you don't really like that person, then it's not a nice environment, is it? So.
Yeah, the learning doesn't flow.
Exactly, and so traditional martial arts really just means, teaching in that environment, and if you're in that environment, if you're in that tradition, you're in the line, you're going to get, you're going to get what's coming.
Yeah, I know that you've had people come to you and it's not been right, and they've gone off and
Sure.
they'll come back, and then you've had other people.
I've done often, but obviously, sometimes the people, they let you down, or for whatever reason. So you just have to cut the cord and let them go. So I mean, the skills they take, like I was saying, these guys, they practice their whole lives. Since they were teens, and now they're in their 70s and their 80s, they have tremendous skills, tremendous skills, and it's an art. So it's there's no end. You don't learn it. You can never master it. You just get better at it. So there's no top to the mountain. The mountain gets narrower, so the view gets clearer. But there's no top to the mountain. You practice because you enjoy the art, you enjoy the people you're practicing with. So it's the level you find in Asia, certainly China, is very, very high, because these people have been practicing for 50, 60 years, and mostly it's every day. So they have a tremendous amount of skill, sure. Yeah. And for me, I'm just a student. I love to learn. I don't see myself as a teacher. I'm a student. I'm a student of a great teacher. I'm lucky. I'm a lucky guy. But if you ask him, I'm sure he would say the same. He's just a student. And I have asked him, and he says, "Oh, I'm not as good as my teachers." Which I find hard to believe. But there we go.
Thank you very much, Paul.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Coltrane.
Thank you.
And once again, if you're interested in the teaching of Paul Rogers and the tradition of Northern Chinese martial arts, and also the actions and activities of the Bagua boy, please contact me, and we'll talk about the DVD that we have available. And until next time, thank you very much for tuning in. Bye.
Yeah. Good. 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 Oh, good. Oh, that's a good one. Good. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Good. Oh, that was a good one. Feel that. Good. Oh, well, feel that. Feel that. Very good. I'll rest.